All right. Hi, how's it going?
Hey, that's going good. How about for you, man?
I'm doing great. So when did you take the ComIT course? And what course did you take with ComIT?
Yeah. Well, I took Node.js, the ComIT Node.js course, and I took it between September 2020 and to December 2020. So 3 month period.
So where are you currently working?
Well, currently I'm working at AppDirect as an associate software developer. My primary tools that I'm using is React, and it's been a blast so far. My team is amazing. They're very humble. They're down to earth. Nothing but good news here.
That's great to hear. That's really good to hear. So what made you interested in taking the Node course with ComIT?
Well, there's three things that actually made me interested into taking this node course. The first thing is it's free, so anyone who's facing financial hardships can get quality education for free. That's a major point. The second reason why I took this ComIT course is that the job market that is specifically open to the ComIT students, they have some internal jobs that may not be open to the rest of the world. That's another pretty good point for somebody who's looking for a job or seeking a job. Um, the third reason was I wanted to make a shift in my career. I wanted to do something new. I've been primarily a Java developer, which is all application based, not web based. And I seen that the trend of software development is going towards the web. So I decided to jump on that bandwagon and learn web development.
Yeah, that's good to hear. I agree with all your points. So kind of hearing that you did do work as a Java developer, kind of what previous work experience did you have before taking the Node course with ComIT?
Right. So before this IT course, I was working as an IT consultant at FDM, and my primary duties was working as a consultant, right? So I was consulting for Deutsche Bank and RBC. What I did at Deutsche Bank was I learned hard skills of coding in SQL, so writing queries, generating reports, and then kind of sending that off to business analytics for them to study and analyze. What I did at RBC was more soft skill. So I learned a lot of hands-on soft skills. So learning how to do Scrum meetings, learning how to do planning, learning how to, I guess, working together to achieve goals. We were working on big data. So I was kind of like helping them configure for the big data and yeah, just executing.
That's interesting. That's really interesting that you kind of did have experience in the tech industry, but your kind of qualifications didn't quite match up to where you'd ideally like to move on to. So kind of touching on that, having had experience kind of previously in the IT industry, during your job search, what were some of the things you found that worked really well for you? What were some things that you found kind of didn't work really good for you?
Good question. So what I found that kind of helped me out was, well, one, using the resources at ComIT. So I use Jesselyn like there's no tomorrow. She is very helpful. They help you with your interviews. They help you with writing your resumes. Use them. If you're in this course, use your resources as much as you can. Another thing that helped me out was I created my own profile site. A lot of developers nowadays actually have their own profile site. So if you don't have one, you need one. So it's essentially what it is it's about you, who you are, as well as the projects you've worked on. And you just have to make it look nice, especially if you want to get a web development job. Another thing that I did was I used the final project to create a full stack project. So I tried to aim high. I created a multiplayer tic-tac-toe game using React and using Node.js. Remember, the course that I was in was a Node.js class, right? So I had to learn React on my own. So yeah, that was a little bit hard, but you have to keep pushing yourself. You have to push yourself, and you have to choose something that you can achieve, and just dedicate time to it. And then another thing that I did was I applied to as many jobs as I can, 200 to 400 applications a week. So through LinkedIn, through Indeed, and through the ComIT site. And my return rate was at least one interview per 300 to 500 applications. So just don't get discouraged, regardless of how bad it looks, regardless if you keep applying and you're not hearing back, don't get discouraged. It's kind of funny though, how I got this job was I didn't even actually apply to the job. They kind of contacted me through LinkedIn, gave me the HR contacted me, and they gave me an interview, and then things kind of kicked off.
That's good to hear. So you would say that LinkedIn is a vital resource to kind of the new job market.
Yes, definitely, definitely.
Yeah, yeah. I find that a lot of kind of entry level people don't really like to use LinkedIn or kind of don't view it quite as a good of a resource as it really is.
I would agree, but I would also say like just make sure if you are going for web to have a lot of projects, right? You need those projects so that you can showcase them. That's what I did during the interviews. During the AppDirect interviews, is I showcase what I did in my project, what I did in ComIT, which was the full stack multiplayer tic-tac-toe game.
So since you kind of learned a programming language outside of the course, would you say that it's vital for students kind of coming into courses and students finishing the course to kind of start doing self-learning and looking into kind of these more popular coding languages and the more obscure ones?
Right. I say that they should do self-learning and looking into the more popular coding language because I come from a Java background, right? Which Java by itself is not similar at all to JavaScript. Yeah, you have similar concept like for loops and whatnot, but it's two different. It's like comparing apples and oranges. You can't necessarily compare them. They may look the same, but they don't taste the same. They don't execute the same. So you can't compare them. For JavaScript, though, it's a typeless nature. So that was one of the challenges I had to get through. Coming from a Java background, it's a typeless nature, while Java has types. Another thing was like functions. So yeah, it's two different things. So that's why you have to, if you're going to learn it right and learn the right tools.
Yeah, it's great to hear. It's great to hear that you're promoting self-learning. So to kind of finish it up, what would you tell someone who is currently taking a ComIT course or someone who's looking at taking a ComIT course?
It's a good question. I would say don't be afraid to make mistakes or to ask questions. It is your time. It's your time to ask the instructor as many questions as you can. So use them wisely. And also to go above and beyond what you were taught in class. So yeah, like I was talking about before, it's just making like either full stack project or your own portfolio site during the class. Just go above and beyond. Don't be afraid to ask questions if you're stuck and if you need help.